So let me ask you a question. What keeps you from taking action? Do you have those days that you just feel like you're inundated with incoming items? Or maybe a day where you just are totally overwhelmed? Might be a constant, just too much to do. And even it could be the situation of just not knowing where to start. You have so much and you don't know where to start. So we're going to talk about taking action today. And action is all about results, right? Results are the end thing. It's all about results. If we want to get paid, it's about the results. Somebody wants us to accomplish something, it's about the results. And the only way we can have results is by taking action. So I want to share with you just a few items that you can think about that may help you trigger taking action a little bit faster. So one of those is increasing your energy. You know, the number one reason for procrastination is our energy level. So if we're not getting enough sleep, and it's not always the quantity of sleep, it's also the quality of sleep that we're getting, can dramatically affect our energy levels, right? A couple other things you can think about is your eating habits, your exercising habits, and then also understanding when you have a prime time, a low time, a high time. And when you need to use mental energy, you want to make sure you're at your high energy levels. So thinking about how your energy can make you more effective and help you take action. So think about also having a clear mind. We get so many things that are going on in our head, so many things to do, so many requests from other people, that it kind of sometimes gets a little overwhelming. So when you're in that situation where you feel like, I just don't even know where to go, I have so much going on, take the time to declutter your mind. And the easiest way to do that is do a brain dump. And that's where you're just going to take out a piece of paper and you're going to start writing all those should do's, need to do, want to do, have to do, must do, maybe someday I'll do. Get it all out and onto a piece of paper. What that does is, number one, it allows you to free up your mind so you really can think about what actions you want to take. But when we have all these things coming in and floating around in our head, we have no space to really think. And then secondly, what it does is it allows us to then be able to prioritize and look at what really needs to happen, what are those most important things that need to happen, and what are those things that maybe don't even need to happen at all. Another thing that you want to understand that will help you take action is by asking why. Why do I need to take action? And the bigger picture of that is what's the purpose or the benefit in it. So really taking the time to think about, how is this going to change my life? How is this going to change my business? How is this going to affect someone else's life? When we have passion behind what we do, when we have benefits behind what we do, it's much easier to take action. Another thing to think about is keeping it simple. So let's just look, in the 1950s, United States were in the race for space, right? Where here we are, we're going to go to the moon, we're going to do all this great stuff in space. And they realized that the astronauts would not be able to write in space. So with, NASA, with all of its technology, they had the funding, they created the zero gravity pen that any one of us can buy on today's market. But our Russian counterparts did not have that opportunity. They didn't have the funding and they didn't have the technology. So what did they use? They went back to basics and they used the pencil. And sometimes we get so wrapped up in technology, we get so wrapped up in it needs to be difficult, that we forget that the basics are where it is. And the simpler we can make something, the easier it is to trigger it, the easier it is to take action. So when we have a big project, something that feels a little overwhelming, think about it and break it down into pieces, small, bite-sized pieces. The easier it is for you to take action is to be able to not get overwhelmed with whatever that task is that you need to do. So the smaller the task, the easier it is to take action, easier it is to implement. Then I want you to think about the 10-minute rule. So you know those dreaded tasks that you just hate, those things that you just don't like doing at all? Why do I have to do this? But it's on your plate and you need to do it. So the easiest way is to use a timer and just set yourself, okay, for 10 minutes every day, I'm going to work on whatever that project is. And we'll take filing because that's a big thing that a lot of people don't like to do. But if you just take 10 minutes, set that timer, I'm going to take care of this stack of filing, before you know it, it's going to be done. If it's a situation where it's a long-term or a big something that's going to take a lot of time, just that 10 minutes every day, before you know it, it will be done. And when we set our mind to saying, okay, I'm only going to work on it for 10 minutes, just that mindset of saying, oh, I can do this for 10 minutes versus I have to spend the next hour or days doing it, makes a big difference. A couple other things you can think about is your to-do list. So we talked about the brain dump, right? So I would take that brain dump and then I have my clients turn it into what I call a master list. So you're going to take everything off of that brain dump and that really need to be accomplished, and you're going to turn it into a master list. And then from that master list is how you create your to-do list. And I really recommend that everybody only use 3 things to start off your day with. Only have 3 things on your to-do list to accomplish that day. You can always go back to your list and get more things if they're done. But we can remember 3 things very easily. So when we have those interruptions, and those interruptions come and go, and then we're not off to something else, when we keep focus on those 3 things, it's much easier to regroup into what we were working on instead of off to something else because of that interruption. Being accountable. Having either accountability partner, being accountable in some way, making statements that this is what I want to accomplish, this is what I'm going to start doing, will trigger action. You can hire a coach, a professional, you can have a friend, a coworker, but someone that you're going to state what you want to accomplish and commit to them that you're going to do it in some type of a time frame. When you do that, that sets up that accountability. And another thing that people don't think about when they have accountability partners is that that person might be able to help you. If you're kind of getting stuck in a little bit of a rut or something, can't get through it, just brainstorming with that person can help you through that and work through that. Because we are better when we're together than we are apart. So collaboration with somebody and having that partner to be able just to talk things through, sometimes we answer our own questions, but it's the thought of thinking through the process. And then there is it a yes or is it a no? So we have a lot of decisions to make every single day, and sometimes we get hung up on those decisions. Something I want to do, but maybe I can't afford to do, or something I want to do, or maybe I feel like I should do, and should I do that? Do I have the time to do that? We have a whole lot of those things going on for us any given day. And if you have a struggle with making a decision on different things like that, especially a small business owner who has wearing a whole lot of hats, the thing to think about is if it's not a heck yes, it's a no. And it doesn't mean it's a no forever, it's just a no for now. But it makes that decision process a whole lot easier to be able to say, this isn't something, yeah, I kind of want to do it. Maybe, well, that's not a yes, this is what I want to do. So if you can't say yes, this is what I need to do, this is what I want to do, then it's probably a no for now. And you just maybe put it on that someday list. And then there's what I call the DNA of productivity, right? The DNA is decision, next action. So first we have to make a decision. What are we going to do? How are we going to do it? Who's going to be involved? We need to make a decision. And a lot of times that's the hardest part to do, is make the decision to move forward. So you want to make a decision and then take the next action. For example, I like this scenario. David Allen uses a lot, but I like it because everybody can relate to it. So think about buying tires for your car, right? As a small business owner, if I think I have to buy tires for my car, I look at that, it's on my list, and that's like a half a day out of my life. I don't have a half a day to go sit someplace to have tires put on my car, right? But if I put tires for my car and I put next to it, call and get prices, that's something I can do in just a few minutes when I'm making some other phone calls. So I've taken that one step further. So as you can see, by breaking your projects down and thinking about what's the next thing has to happen, it makes a huge difference. Now for me, it wouldn't be calling and getting prices on the tires for the car. My thing is, I'd have to go out first and look and see what size tires I need, because I don't know. So it's really thinking about what's the next thing. You're going to work on a budget. Okay, well, where's last year's budget? You need to get that last year's budget out. Review last year's budget. Make some changes to where you know that they need to happen. So it's really just one step at a time. And we'll go back to what I said in the beginning. It's about the results. And then just taking action is about moving forward. And it doesn't always have to be the right step forward. Think about just being inspired to move forward, and I call that imperfect inspired action. So it doesn't have to be perfect, because a lot of times we can take action and we're going to find that's not the direction we want to go anyway. But until we've taken that action, we don't know that. So think about just being inspired and taking imperfect action. So when we take action, it really increases our energy levels. It really allows us to accomplish more. So we have more energy, we get more done, we have more time, and bottom line, we can make more money. So think about how you can start implementing taking action a whole lot faster. Thank you.